This is the Hear Him Out show, a show we created for men to be heard where women are welcome to listen. Yo, what's good, beautiful people? This is your boy Monty, aka Mr. Motivation.
And I am Shekem. Blessings.
Yo, and this is the Hear Him Out show, a show we created for men to be heard where women are welcome to listen.
And our aim is to speak truth, add value, and offer a perspective that leads to growth and elevation.
Hey, that's what we're here for. So this episode, it's a goodie. It's a goodie. Yeah. It's a bit triggering for some people, including my damn self. This show is called Celibacy for the Bag. Okay, I know it's gonna be triggering for a lot of fellas out there. I know it's triggering for me, but man, Shekem over here, he gonna drop some gems on y'all, right? But before we get into the meat of the show, one thing we like to do here on this show is we like to clear the space and we like to set the stage. As artists and performers, one thing we got to do is to make sure we give y'all our best. And the way we do that is in this manner. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and clear the space. So how are we going to do that, Shekem?
We're going to clear the space with these chimes today. I love using sound to get us all on the same wavelength so that we can share in some divine knowledge.
Hey. Ashe, all right. So for everybody that's vibing with us and you're listening, thank you. Make sure you share all that, comment. And if you ain't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that, all right? Now, let's go ahead and set the stage. Yeah. So there's a few different ways I like to set the stage. When I'm in a space, because I didn't get much sleep last night, your boy's a new dad of twins. It's easy to go into a negative mindset, and we can't bring no negativity after you just clear the space. Mm-hmm. So in order to set the stage, I'm going to operate from a place of gratitude. So I like to journal every single day, y'all. I write down. I believe journaling is the cheapest form of therapy.
That's a fact.
It absolutely is. And so one thing I like to do at the end of me, getting out all my thoughts is to write down what I'm grateful for. And today, the first thing that goes to mind is I'm grateful for fatherhood, y'all. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I got 8-month-old twins. My little boy Hendrix, my little girl Lennox.
It was my homies right there.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It has changed me. It has challenged me. It continues to challenge me. But I'm grateful for it because it's bringing out the best in me. And looking into my son in particular, I'm seeing it's like I'm looking into the past. And it's such a good thing when I get frustrated and all that to be like, yo, hold up, you're not about to throw your shit on him. He's getting a fresh start that you didn't get. So I'm grateful for fatherhood. All right. Yeah. So with that being said, speaking about having kids, this episode, Celibacy for the Bag, okay? Yeah. I ain't with it, okay? Right? I've been in a long distance relationship with my wife. I didn't like it. Yeah. I was involuntarily celibate because I didn't want to mess up a good thing, right? I got no regrets, but I ain't doing it again, okay? Yeah. But Shekem, let's break celibacy. This is all you, G. Come on, man, because you got to make a believer out of me, baby.
Well, I've been celibate before one time. The last time, I believe it was between like 10 and 12 months. I didn't really count that much. Okay. And my reason that time was for spiritual purposes because I knew that I had a very high sex drive and I had just got out of a very long relationship. It was like 7 years long. Woo. So I knew that if I just would have been released to the wolves, that I probably would have just went crazy on the whole city. It would have been like that.
Anything that walk.
Man, it would have been like that because I was faithful. And also that relationship ended at the time. In my mind, it ended because she thought that I cheated on her when I didn't. Ooh. So I was like, oh, okay, best. So if I'm going to be painted with that brush, then I'm going to just go crazy. And so that's when my Lord
paint on every canvas.
Nigga, we going to be Basquiat in this bitch. But I was like, all right, chill out. Like, we're not going to do that. Let's put some reins on it and see if I harness that, what I can do with it. And it ended up being a very transcending year of my life. I did it for spiritual purposes. That's when I got into indigenous ceremony. That's when I really dove into my Zen journey, studying Zen meditations. And I used a lot of the energy that I would have been giving to a woman to myself. So it was a good time.
Oh, okay. I just want to harp on that a little bit. So you said a lot of energy you would give to a woman, you give to yourself. Yeah. And obviously it goes both ways. But once again, this is to hear him out. Yeah. Where men, this is for men to be heard and women are encouraged to listen. So I know a lot of women give their energy to their partner, but we do that too, fellas. Especially when you find somebody. You were in a 7-year relationship, G. Yeah, bro. So obviously it was intense. It was love. It was all the cocktail of emotions. So describe the level of energy on a regular basis when you're in a relationship that long with somebody you love and you cultivate all this connection and what.
Well, for me, I am a servant to the person that I'm with to the best of my ability with what I'm aware of. And so at that time, everything I was doing, not only on a moment-to-moment basis, was based on her and where she was in her life and how her day was going, but everything in regards to my future contextualization as to how things would end up going was taking her into account. So every job that I did, every workout that I did, every book that I read, everything was so that I could properly serve this woman. Ooh. And it's just not the way to go, fellas. Like, I know it seems poetic and shit, but that is not sustainable. So
pause on that real quick. Just real quick, because we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Serving out, and this is it. I know there's some women listening, and that shit sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like serving all that stuff. Oh, that's what a man is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I agree with that to a degree. So why don't you agree with that?
Because I believe that men are supposed to develop these formidable and competent qualities so that they can produce the highest version of themselves that they need for themselves and God, and women are the byproduct of that version of themselves. Ooh. So if I want to, let's say I want to learn how to lead Zen meditations and I want to learn how to hold space and I want to learn how to meditate, that shouldn't be because a woman desires those qualities. It should be because I desire those qualities for myself. Wow. And a woman who is on that same frequency can benefit from those qualities by being with me. If I do it for the woman, whenever she decides those qualities aren't valuable to her anymore, she can leave and she will leave. Ooh. I've experienced that before.
Yo.
So, but if you're doing it for yourself, if God forbid she does leave or whatever the case, then you will still have that value to yourself because you've been doing it for your God the entire time and not for a expendable external source.
Yo, oof, yeah, that's the word. That's y'all gonna have to like marinate on that, meditate on that, whatever other word you want to use.
Yeah.
Because that's real. I've been in different phases of my life where, I've been. I'm gonna do whatever I can.
Yeah.
My nice guy.
The nice guy phase sucks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna be the nice guy. I'm gonna do this, and then I was in my fuckboy phase, right?
Yeah.
And then
I don't know which one is worse. The nice guy phase or the fuckboy phase.
Yo,
they're both bad.
Yo, heads and tails, right? Heads and tails, right? Yeah. But I do realize that doing it for yourself and being selfish about it, doing it for yourself. I think you got a greater opportunity and a greater chance of attracting someone who's already on that level.
Oh, right.
Who's already with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Bro, that's a master key. I absolutely agree, man. A lot of these things, when it comes to developing characteristics of manhood, I believe should be done for the vision of the vision of yourself that you see yourself being. You look in the mirror and you see what's there now. What do I see? I see some quarter grown dreads, some quarter grown locks. I see a beard that's not all the way trimmed. I see a person who has a certain amount of money in the bank account when I want way more. I see a person who has a bunch of songs stored up that I think can change the world that aren't released yet. I see all these things that are, and then I contrast that to who I know I can be. And when you do that and you see the contrast, man, it really lays out a divine trajectory for you. And so celibacy to me was always a part of that path because I do see what happens to a woman when I give myself to a woman. Every time I give myself to a woman, I see her life get better. Me personally. All right. And I know you're the same way because anytime my boy...
Celibacy for the bag. I'm the bag.
Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes the good man is the
bag. Yo, speak on it.
Because I see women's life change all the time when a good man enters their life. Facts. Because we give. Our seed literally gives life. A woman's seed. So this is an interesting reason as to why I went celibate as well. Is because I don't know if every man is like this, but when I have sex with a woman and I release, I feel tired the next day. I feel like I took the most valuable source of life that's within me and I gave it to someone as a gift. And I see the exact opposite for them. I was with a woman who was multi-orgasmic for a while. So she busts 5 to 9 times in one session. The next day she's bright and she's chipper and she's all on her toes and her hair is all fluffed and she's lit.
She out here sea walking.
And I'm over here like, yeah. Holy shit, I'm trying to do pull-ups and and I'm tired.
Right.
So I started realizing the less that I release semen retention, the more I allow that to cycle back into myself. then the more I was able to give to myself creatively, and I started feeling those qualities that I would see women using the next day. So that was one of the reasons too, is I can't just keep giving my light to someone that I'm not building a dynasty with, you know.
You know what? It's Shekem is a better man than I. Right? Anytime I was celibate was forced upon me. Well, I ain't gonna say forced upon me, but it was self-imposed because I could have been out there doing some shady shit, but I chose not to because I didn't want to lose what I had.
Yeah, respect.
But in a different way, in a lighter way, and maybe some of the cats out there, y'all can vibe with this. I did it with porn, right? Because when I was doing long distance, it's like, damn, I'm in a long distance relationship. We 6 months apart before we get to see each other. Yo, I'm gonna turn this. If I don't do something with this energy, somebody else is gonna get this energy, and I'm not trying to move like that. And so I actually developed an unhealthy porn addiction for a while, and I was just like, this shit ain't even enjoyable no more.
I feel you, bro. I was right there with you. I feel you. That's so tricky.
I gotta stop this. And so when you talk about earlier the energy, I literally started. That's when I was like in the best shape of my life. I started putting that energy into the work. I started writing a lot. I started putting all that energy, and it focused me more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if anything, fellas, and this is just me, maybe you can go deeper on it, okay? Because we want to get into exactly why you're doing celibacy. That's the episode, Celibacy for the Bag, is for my guy. But at the very minimum, y'all ain't got to do it for a year. Y'all got to do it for 10 years. But sometimes just to refocus yourself. If you feel like you're off track, fellas, if you feel like you're easily distracted and you're not going in the direction you anticipated, that's a good form. Whether it's fasting or celibacy, whether it's from sex itself, whether it's from porn, something like that, I feel has always got me back on track and got me aimed at where I actually wanted to go. Yeah. And I think that's, for me, that's about as far as I can go.
That's the truth, bro. That's where I'm at now. That's exactly where I'm at now. So my celibacy in this chapter is for something a little different.
Okay.
I wanted to aim my focus, and I'm not going to lie, in a very linear fashion. And I'm aware that it's linear. I'm celibate for a bag.
Oh, okay.
I told myself that I'm not fucking nobody until I get $500,000 cash in my bank account. Now, I did go over terms and agreements because celibacy, I think, is very important.
Terms and agreements.
It's important to go over some terms and agreements, okay? Because celibacy and abstinence are two different things. Also, terms and agreements. When I posted this the other day, I wanted to just see what types of reactions I would get. I told everybody.
Speak on it.
Somebody presented a great question. They said, well, what if some sugar mama comes up and says, I'll give you $500,000 for the dick right now? I said, hey, that's a good question.
Hello. Hey, mama.
I said cash. She said cash.
Cash.
I said, okay.
Venmo me.
So that's tricky because I told myself in the beginning of this journey that I would not have sex until I made $500,000 from something I created.
Okay, bet.
So I don't want to have kids until I have a foundation of financial competence to pay for them, first of all. But then on top of that, the actual dollar amount isn't the focus. The momentum is the focus. Ancestor told me that one day. A teacher told me, y'all think down there that finances and cars and precious metals and these things are the true currency. But the true currency is momentum. Ooh. That's the true currency. You have the right momentum, you can use it for whatever you want. So when a teacher told me that, I said, okay, I'm going to set a marker at 500,000 just because I know when my creations start to move in that way, I'll be able to do whatever the fuck I want with my creations. So there were times where I was feeling it, bro, and there were women calling, and I was in my little cave, and I'm just looking in the mirror. I said, nigga, are you going to do it? And I would say, man, this is hard. I say, just get behind the mic.
Yo, pause real quick. Let me tell you, like, I'm off the market indefinitely. But my brother here, some very beautiful, high quality, high value, attractive ass women. And I don't even mean that in a lustful manner. I'm just talking about some dope chicks, some dope queens.
Man.
So, and they hunting.
Hey, and they are.
And they aim. The aim is fixed on you, bro. So,
hey, respect.
Props to you, brother.
Hey, man, thank you. Respect. When niggas say there ain't nothing out here, they must be fucking blind because I'm surrounded by divine queens all the time. And so I do have to really discipline myself and look at the relationship in a holistic way because it's really difficult sometimes. You know, a lot of times during this chapter in the beginning, it was hard, bro, because the money isn't really going to sustain you. It's the reason why I want the money. That kept me grounded every fucking time. Because anybody can go about getting some money. I remember when I was sleeping in my car, that was when I got offered all the darkest shit. My homie came to me and offered me to be a runner for some drugs. And like, he found me when I was literally walking the streets, too proud to ask people for money. So I was just looking around curbs for change, like hoping I'd find some change. I was that broke.
Right.
He offered me, yo, bro, you could just do a couple of these little jobs, this and that. So the tests are there at the rock bottom of your process. But you make it through that rock bottom. Every time I would feel the calling, I would just be like, get behind the mic. I would tell myself, get behind the mic.
Okay.
And when I tell you, I would take that sexual drive that I have and just sing whatever came up. I started making the best songs of my life.
That's real.
And producing the best videos of my life. I have it to prove. Y'all are going to hear them really soon.
Your boy was horny. Okay.
I was going through it. I was on the wall like
your
this.
boy was in heat, dropping fire.
I was on the window. It was raining outside. I was like this. No, I was tripping. And then the worst thing is that they were asking. You know, there were a couple, you know. And so I'm not perfect, but I did not break my promises. I stuck true to my terms and agreements, and I'm still going. And that brings me to the next portion of it, which was, what was the reaction of women? I'm gonna be completely 100 with you. I got a lot of pushback. Ooh. A lot of negative pushback.
Ooh. Pray tell, my friend.
There was one time.
You being celibate for the bag, you got a lot of pushback from women.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Specifically because it was for financial reasons. When I was celibate for spirituality, it was poeticized and everybody loves a man who on his spiritual journey, and it's the animus is speaking loud in the woman and blah, blah. But there's something about the contemporary, independent, strong woman who does not want to admit how important financial competence in a man is.
Stop it. Yeah. Hear him out. Go ahead.
Look, this isn't just from my head. We're not just farting this stuff out of our necks. Like, we have very open circles. One day we should just mic everybody up with some lives and just have one of these open circles with all these women we can really, you know, because we dive into a lot of beautiful topics. Sometimes we show up to both staff and not even swing both staff. We just debate, you know?
Yep.
And so we do see this a lot. A strong feminist community does not want to necessarily acknowledge how important it is for a man to be financially responsible. He doesn't have to be a millionaire, but you know, one of the biggest depressions I had was based on my woman that I was with at the time was doing well financially, and I had just lost 30K in crypto, like in the blink of an eye.
All right, trigger to keep it moving,
Nigga, I was like, oh, nigga, shit. Like, I'm nothing. I'm no one. I can't handle a dollar. Like, I should go into a cave and dissipate, you know?
Right.
So that was like a big thing. So I promised myself that the experience of financial incompetence would never be in my life again, especially because I do want to have kids.
Facts.
You know, I want to have a child. I'm about to go teach kids right now. I have my Muay Thai meditation curriculum right now. And to me, it's like training. They're 5 to 10 years old. I want a grip of kids.
Yo, speaking of kids, me, myself, as a new father, I understand what you're talking about. Now, I don't want no tribe. 2 is more than enough. I got my boy, I got my girl. They happy, they healthy. But it is a different level when you are responsible for every aspect of another human. Like, when my daughter and my son cry, like, I have to feed them. They both, this morning alone, they both shat through their onesie. I got shit on my hands, right?
Shit on both hands.
I'm letting wifey sleep because we had a rough night. So, you know, I get the kids in the morning and they both shit through their onesies. I'm doing that. They crying. I got to feed them, soothe them, the bottle, and everything. It's such a thing that you don't see in popular culture men do. But let me tell you that shit feels so good. Not in the moment. I was frustrated. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Now I got to go change all this stuff. But like, there's something so amazing about like, how these kids' future turns out. I'm playing. There's such a big role in it.
Oh man, that's incredible.
And because I started off in such a toxic, unhealthy, abusive environment, and the phrase childhood trauma is one of the saddest sentences ever, I'm making sure they don't do that. So when you say that, it is important to secure that bag.
Yeah, it's important to secure the bag because you're saying you're injecting most of their understandings of life into them and their psyche. And I learned a lot of amazing things growing up. Our mom gave us spiritual abundance, unconditional love understandings, consistency, hard work, discipline, all these beautiful lessons. And I didn't get to learn about financial competence. Some people only get financial lessons and don't get the other stuff. So me trying to be a holistic man and attempting to fortify myself requires me to peep out the things that I'm not harnessing and fucking scope that tool up and get that shit popping. Cause I got a lot of the other stuff and now it's time to get this shit too.
So speaking about celibacy for the bag, so this is one thing I'm in two minds about. On one hand, I hate that sometimes women only go for the dude who got the money, who has all those things, right? But then on the other hand, I understand it. Because when you talk about you want a tribe and we talk about being fathers, it's like, that takes money, G, right? And me, myself, I understand now being a father and watching in real time every step of the way what my lady had to give up in order to give birth, in order to be a mom, in order to be present. She had to stop working for a second. She had to put all her stuff aside for this phase. Now, this ain't gonna be long term, but temporarily. And she couldn't do that unless she had full faith that I can secure the bag consistently, that I can pay for everything. So now I'm in a place in my life, thank God I didn't have this shit when I was 25, but I'm glad I'm now where it's just like, yo, you good. When you get better, when the kids get a little older, now you go out there and do your thing. But like, I can hold down the fort. And so that's important. It basically comes down to, do you believe the woman you're after, your partner, your lover, whatever you want to say, do you believe they deserve the best version of you?
Amen.
And the best version of you is the version that can provide security.
Amen.
And part of that security is the financial security.
It is.
So that's important. That's why celibacy for the bag, it's not a shallow endeavor. That's why when you talk about how women had like a negative response, it's like, no, because at the end of the day, once you get over how much you love him, once you get over all the potential and all the good stuff, these bills got to be paid.
Yeah.
You want these kids to go to the best school. We live in LA. You trying to own a house? Good luck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's I think that's very important. So let's get into the segment of the day.
Amen.
So if you're new to the show, one thing we like to do here, we like to have a segment of the day. And today's segment is men's mental health. Now this is a bar, okay? This is a quote I made up, okay? This is what we doing.
Yeah.
A lack of discipline is the fuel for distraction. Fellas, hear me out. A lack of discipline is the fuel for distraction. That's why it's important for the celibacy, because sex is a distraction. It's amazing. Don't get it twisted, okay? But it is absolutely a distraction, especially if you're not in a committed relationship where it's something that happens organic. But if it's something you're pursuing, you out here on dates, you in a club, you searching. That's a distraction. And if you're not the man you want to be, if you're not where you want to be, maybe you need to set that shit aside until you get to that level.
Amen. And by setting it to the side, you're making a sacrifice. That's the one thing I wanted to say at the end of this episode, is that you are never going to grow into the highest version of yourself. And I'm speaking to myself as well. I'm never going to grow into the highest version of myself without sacrificing portions of myself. It's just impossible. So that's an inextricable part of our culture. Again, ever since the beginning of time, humans have been taking the best of what they can offer and sacrificing it to the Most High so that they can receive something better in the future. I did it for my Zen practice. I sacrificed food. I sacrificed time. In Temascal, I sacrificed the comfortability of my body. My knees felt like they were cramping up. I sacrificed pain. I sacrificed everything.
Right.
And in this situation, I'm sacrificing sex so that my drive can accumulate a certain amount of money for me and the family that I will have. And man, I can't wait to have a follow-up episode telling y'all that I got $500,000 in the bank and I'm currently breaking someone's back.
Also, sponsors, if you want to help my boy out, okay? If you want to help my boy out, sponsor the $500,000. Now, we partnership, so he got to split that shit with your boy. But we're going to be halfway there, okay?
And that is a part of the terms and agreements, because, hey, we creating this podcast. Trojan, hey, no, just playing. Just playing.
How appropriate would that be?
No, my brothers, man, be willing to sacrifice. We are constantly growing together. Take the best of yourself and put it on the altar and see what comes of it.
Y'all know what it is, y'all. This has been the Hear Him Out Show, a space we created for men to be heard, where women are welcome to listen.
And our aim is to speak truth, add value, and offer a perspective that has the potential to lead to growth and elevation.
All right, we love y'all. Peace.